Caroline Dowd-Higgins. Thank you for listening to Your Working Life, my podcast series featuring thought leaders in the career and personal growth arena. Hey, I know you spend a significant portion of your life at work, so my goal is to provide you with tools, inspiration, and resources so you can enjoy your career and love your life. And I am so excited to welcome a trio of amazing women today to the show. These are the founders and the extraordinary creative and production team of the Middle Coast Film Festival. Ladies, welcome. We're going to have a juicy conversation.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
So let me do a one-by-one introduction. Jessica Lewandowski, who serves as co-founder and festival director. Jess, say hello.
Hello, I'm Jess.
Chelsea Sanders, who is the co-founder and marketing and design director.
Hello.
And Claire McInerney, who is our communications director.
Yes, thanks for having us.
So, ladies, let's cut right to it. You know, this is an exciting time. You have started the Middle Coast Film Festival really with a grassroots momentum, and it's taken off exponentially in the past few years. Jess, I'm going to tap you to start off. How did this get started?
Well, I'm a filmmaker first, and so I wanted, and living in Bloomington, Indiana, there's not a ton of opportunities for that. You're kind of up Schitt's Creek, as it were. So we, my husband and I, Matthew, we always talked about starting a film festival. We always went to the IU Cinema. John Vickers is he is the director there, and I talked with him for a while about starting a film fest, and he said, that's way too much work for me, and then he passed me this packet of research he did on starting a film festival, and I took that, and then there were people around town. They were like, you need to meet Tracey, or not Tracey, I was looking at me, you need to meet Chelsea Sanders. She wants to do something like this too, and I think it was Jessica Reed who hooked us up, and we met, and 2 months later we started a film festival.
So amazing women came together, I'm sure over some tasty libation, right? And said, let's make this happen.
It was like pouring gasoline on a tiny spark.
Yeah, and then boom. So Chelsea, tell us about your expertise, because you bring something very unique to this equation.
So my background is in design, photography, and marketing, and I own a small creative agency, and like I said, I've been into photography and started getting into the understanding of video and film as we do a little bit more commercial work, and but some of the people that I work with create their own short films, and I was like, this is really interesting, and I had went to South by Southwest 3 years ago, and knew there was some kind of film aspect to it, and so when I'd always been pitching around let's do something totally different for Bloomington, and I don't know much about film until I met Jess, and now I feel like I went to the
University of Lewandowski. That's
and,
awesome.
So I had pitched around with my business partner. I was like, I want to start a film festival. I think from the marketing aspect, and also positioning Bloomington and we're on our location differently would be something very unique, and it's untapped. And so anyways, pitched that internally, and they were like, oh, maybe another time. And then I had I think it was Jess Reed, you should meet Jessica Lewandowski, and I was like, oh, okay. And we literally sat, and I was like, I don't know how. I was like, I can market a film festival, and I have all the mission of what it could possibly do. And so she was the film expertise behind how it all works, and it was like, you're the film lady, and I'm the marketing lady, and let's make something happen.
Let's make magic. So Claire, what piece of the puzzle do you supply?
So I do communication, so I do a lot of the social media, and then trying to get earned media and things like that, traditional PR things. But as if with any group, once you see the dynamics of your group, I think everyone fills in holes and stuff. And Jessica and Chelsea and I always laugh, they come up with these awesome, great ideas, and I'm like, we're 4 weeks out. Let's
let's
that's
focus.
So good. Let's put that on next year.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
We call it tranking each other.
Yeah, tranquilizing.
Got it. With the dart. Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Helping with getting the word out. Everyone I need.
How did we find you? You volunteered?
No, you were friends with my old roommate,
That's
and
right.
she was like, "You're a journalist. You know how to write press releases, right?" And I was like, "Sure." I thought it was like one time, and then
And you
here
were
I am.
sucked into the
Yeah.
beautiful cause. So, ladies, I'd love to talk about the reality of why women are still a minority in the film industry, and you're really consciously changing that, not only by raising awareness about how important women are in this industry. You've got a movement bringing young girls, young women into the industry. Who would like to chat about that?
I will. So, yeah, it's a personal vendetta of mine to like go out and just not only let us through the boys club door, but sort of like build our own girls club and knock on that door. Like, totally follow the idea that filmmaking should be merit based, but it should also be accessible. So that's the female push that we're trying to make. But yeah, what we're doing about that, our programming is 50-50, half women, half men. That was a goal we set.
Filmmakers, not like
Filmmakers,
actors and
yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, either in a key position of either producing or directing or writing. So that's what we're doing with the festival, and then with our initiative with Girls Inc. of Monroe County, last year we did a filmmakers camp, sort of experimenting with it to see how it would go, and then we did another one this year, and it was an even bigger success. We had 15 girls aged 12 to 18. We had 15 girls aged 12 to 16, and in 1 week, they wrote, scripted, shot listed, shot, and edited a short film that will premiere at the festival.
Which is amazing. So you're grooming young women filmmakers. So Chelsea, I'd love to get your take, because you've witnessed these young girls experience this. Is it a confidence boosting opportunity? I mean, it must be transformational for them.
I think it is, and I think it's also just educating and positioning, young women to see opportunity in things, and especially like the media, and in the marketing of things that I'm very involved with, like see a different light of what their future could be. And I think whether it's they want to be at the camera, or they can like write something, and just to have that opportunity on what the media is fed to our our younger women is like so important. And even whether it's you can change one young girl's future, or 15, it's that's rewarding of itself. And yeah,
Well, I think you brought up a good point of, like, Jess was showing us a music video they made, and only half the girls were in the music video, because what's taught in this camp is someone has to do the audio, and someone has to hold the light, and someone has to do this, and those are important, crucial jobs for anything. And whether they go into film or any other industry, you have to know that the humble part of being part of a team, which I think is also super important, and you don't just want to be in front of the camera. There's more than that.
And I think being a young girl, that's all they see. It's like being an actress, or
The
being
glamour,
a model,
or what they think is glamorous.
right. And it's like maybe the sexiest thing is being the director. I mean, somebody else is going to be your boss on
Absolutely.
set, and that's the positioning of it.
So let's get real. What has been the biggest challenge?
Just we're making it up as we go.
Yeah.
So we're at this point trial by error, and organizing manpower seems to be a thing we keep struggling with. Is like how to set up systems so that we can all communicate clearly together.
Yeah.
Just working with that dynamic.
Well, there's those things, and that's like us.
Yes,
And we were talking about this today,
internally.
but I think also like our mission is we want to prove that there's this vibrant and talented art scene here in the Midwest. And I think sometimes, I don't know, I feel like we have to fight to be like, we're relevant and we're worth traveling here if you're a filmmaker. And everyone that comes is like, this town is great, everyone loved it. But I think you kind of have to sell, like, please come to Bloomington, Indiana, which you've never heard of. I mean, the other day, a filmmaker sent me his itinerary, and he was going to Bloomington, Illinois, because he was like,
The wrong one.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know the difference of anything past, Utah or whatever.
Right.
So that's what we're dealing with, is people think of us as like flyover, and we're trying to prove like there's awesome things happening here.
Well, and let's highlight that, right? So thus the name Middle Coast. Here we are, virtually landlocked in the Midwest, but you're shining an incredible spotlight on what's happening in the Midwest. And you're also pushing this concept of bringing major filmmakers here to the Midwest to really have a viable filmmaking economy. And that's an impressive goal. I'm very, very pleased to see you moving that forward.
And kind of talking on that is when we were all the first year where, our kind of like tagline, and I don't think that continues into the coming years of the brand, but it's redefining the coast, and it's whatever you want to make of your coastline, whether it's, feet on the sand in the ocean, or like feet on the lake, and basically it's where you plant yourself. And so we're redefining what people think of where you have to go to make film, going to New York, going to LA, going to some big city, or to make it. And then when there's like some of the talent and the pool is exponentially, obviously I'm from here, but better than what I've seen. And I travel quite a bit, and I know that Claire and Jess and all of our team, we've been around, we've seen some great things, and it's, instead of us, we want to kind of be a big voice for the Midwest, but I think it's, and the core of what is great about what we're doing is we've already got it.
Yeah.
It's not like we're trying to,
we're a venue for people to bring their work and a place to shine on it.
Right.
Well, I appreciate your courage in saying, okay, we're making it up as we go along. And I think that's great. And that's a great lesson, because you are entrepreneurs. There's no doubt about it. You're charting new territory. So what's been the greatest success so far?
Oh, definitely. Well, for me personally, the Girls Inc. camp,
Yeah.
that's awesome to watch them go from thinking filmmaking is for other people to them thinking that's all it takes. I'm going to start telling my own stories. So that's really cool. And then to have these amazing filmmakers who are on the Sundance circuit, South by Southwest, Cannes, big, as big as you can get is in the world of film, they're coming here too. They're going to come and hang out with us and have dinner and do Q&As, but our audience will have so much more access to them than they would if you go to Cannes or South by. So that's a huge success.
Well, and let's talk about that, because there is an international audience to this podcast series. And even though we are recording in the Midwest, and this festival certainly has a focus on the Midwest, the filmmakers are coming from all over the world. Tell us about some of those international reaches.
Okay, so let's see. We've got a couple of them are flying in from Austin. Wait, that's not international. We've got two.
But a fabulous location nonetheless.
We have Krisha Fairchild flying in from Leon, Mexico. We've got Tyreek Henderson. We've got Tyreek flying in. We've got a filmmaker flying in from Vancouver, BC. We've got quite a few coming in from Seoul, South Korea. That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
And then tons from all over.
Tons,
all over the country.
Yeah, tons from LA, Austin, Atlanta, New York. The majority of our filmmakers that are accepted are from out of the state.
Very exciting. Okay, ladies, you know that my passion is how we learn from our mistakes, how we recover from failure. You've all heard me talk about that. So give us a big splat fail that you've recovered from and you have learned, and the festival's going to be better because of it.
Programming too much, not saying no. Being I want to include everybody, because I'm amazed at the amount of work that gets submitted to us. I don't know how to turn these filmmakers away.
Yeah.
Because we're getting such high quality submissions. So, and every single one that I screen, I'm there is an audience for that somewhere. In Bloomington.
Yeah.
No, here in our town. Because our town is so diverse, there's somebody that would show up to that. So it's really hard to turn people away. But I'm getting better at it.
I think another thing that we learned last year, because during the festival, and you have all these people from all these great places that we just talked about, it's easy for us as the staff, because there's only a handful of us, to be we have to be ambassadors to them. Someone has to be going to dinner with them. Someone has to make sure they know what they're doing. And then things like our audience and our volunteers, we were they'll figure it out. And I guess that's being honest. But so this year we were coming in and we were just our volunteers are our A team, number one. You get the best things, because that's what's helping us run. And we're, figuring out okay, day of festival, the filmmakers can, one of us will deal and work and hang with them, and you know, it's a huge operation to do a film festival, and I think there's so many large groups of people that are vital, whether they're coming or they're providing the content, and it's hard to like juggle all of it.
So, whet our appetites. What can we expect when we arrive and prepare for the festival? How do we know what to see? How do we do our research in advance? What's online?
So I think what we're like right now. So tickets are on sale. You can go to Middle Coast. You can go to middlecoastfest.com or go to the BCT to purchase your tickets, or online. And I think what we're going to do online is we're going to actually, some new things this year is we're going to have a mobile web-based app. So kind of very similar to what they use at South by. You'll be able to not only, right now we're going to release the lineup after the holiday weekend, so I'm sure this will post after the 4th. So you'll be able to see and get like a preview, either like a trailer or a synopsis of all of our films online. We'll release schedule in a couple weeks after that. But with our new mobile app, you'll be able to basically see what's showing on Friday or Saturday, going by category. You can favorite what you want to see, and then basically look at kind of like seeing what's upcoming, and that'll be good. And then you'll also be able to share other films with some other friends that might be relevant. And kind of like going back to like a new thing is like there's so much diversity, and you know, you said like going back to Jess, she said it's like 50-50, but from women to men, kind of like basically on film set. But I think another important thing is the mission of like things that are relevant, like whether it's like politics or things that are going on with, you know, film in Indiana and stuff like that. And a lot of relevant things, like we've been very, and Jess has been very careful in her selection for bringing films that are also educating and that are a range of, like, you cannot come to Middle Coast and not fall in love with something that's going to be relevant to you. It's like very personal.
And it's not just watching the films, it's the post discussions with the people that are involved in the production.
Yes.
So it's very educational, and there's an opportunity to continue the conversation after the screening's done.
Definitely. So we have each one of our filmmakers, it's kind of a deal that it goes undisclosed in film festival circuit. If a film festival flies you out and puts you up in a hotel, you do whatever they want as far as like hanging out at after parties and interacting with audiences. You're super grateful to get your film in front of as many eyeballs as possible. So for a filmmaker to have access to an audience directly and get feedback and be like, why did you choose that shot, or, you know, whatever, and it's awesome for the audience to be able to ask those direct questions without having to go through a, you know, tweeting at them or sending an email. It's like direct, instant, awesome access, and a lot of people develop friendships from our festival. We're happy to be like a little hub of connecting people. So
it's cool. Throughout the year, I've seen one filmmaker has his own podcast. He was inviting people on. Filmmakers were hiring each other for jobs. Like it's like we are building and being part of the network.
So speaking of jobs, you know, my passion is empowering women in their careers. And I have seen how this has lifted and boosted the three of you and your team at large in your own personal careers and just collectively as a team. What has that meant to you? How has this empowered you for the future?
it's pretty funny that Chelsea and I both won the 10 Under 40 award that the Chamber of Bloomington puts on, and we can't go to it, the awards ceremony, which is probably going to be awesome. We can't go to it because it's opening night of Middle Coast. So that's the kind of cool stuff that we're, you know, the doors are opening for us that way. And then as nationally, it legitimizes you as,
yeah.
You know, it's funny that you just fake it till you make it. Like 3 years ago, we weren't festival directors, and now people are like, they're experts.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Well done. Well done. Claire, thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, so by trade, I am a journalist, and I love that career, but this has, like, really taught me about I can do other things, and I'm, like, good at other things. and I enjoy other things. That was always a thing. I remember one day I was frustrated with my job and I took a personality test and it was like, you should be a reporter. And I was like, well, that's not what I was looking for. So it's like I am like in the right path for my personality, but this has taught me a lot about and just opened up my eyes to this whole other world of filmmakers and creative people that I'm not a part of. I mean, I'm a reporter and so I'm a part of that world and that network. So it's fun, like for me, you know, to be a part of the film world for a minute is pretty cool to just feel like I have my foot in this other area to like learn about it.
And I guess I would say for me it's I think it's like communication with people that have come together from Middle Coast and our internal team, that we all do very distinctive things, and to sit and be like humble in what we do and to listen and get advice, because we're all moving forward for one goal, which is, you know, to number one, Middle Coast, and put Bloomington in front of everyone's eyes. And I think it's that's been a beauty for me, is just seeing like how wonderful Claire is at, you know, the press release, and how she writes something and I'm like, oh my gosh, you can't.
That's really good.
Unbelievable.
I guess that's the thing. I feel like I get to write creatively again, and it's not like who, where, when, why.
And then how Jess is just so like passionate about like film and the understanding of like the artistry and the creativity. Like I have a fine arts background, and you think you know one thing going into like say your business or you know your future, but then meeting all of these internal people in our team is like, it just opens your eyes to like a world. It just expands your world. And I think that's a beauty for me. It's been awesome. And I have so much respect for the people I get to team up with for this.
So you're in for the long haul. You're going to do it again, and you're going to make this the Midwestern version of South by Southwest, or the national version of the Cannes Film Festival, right?
Yes.
You're in it for the long haul.
We're setting ourselves up to be an epicenter of filmmaking for the Midwest. We're trying to build like a microfilm industry around Bloomington. There's quite a few number of productions that are made here, and I'm on it's called the Indiana Film Production Tax Credit Committee, and it's going to the State House floor in January 2017, and it's an incentive that will incentivize. It's, how do you say that?
It'll give a tax break to people who come and work and
I'm just
do a
trying to
film
think
here.
of a bite that would sound good. So it will tempt production companies to come here instead of shipping their productions out of state. Because we have a bit of a brain drain with our universities, where we lose a lot of our talent and our top young creative, or our top young talent, we lose them to the coast, and we're trying to make it so that you want to stay and work here. You can live, work, play here. We have our 10-year plan, and it includes things like train trips down to West Baden Springs, and where we put a bunch of filmmakers on a train car, and we get VIPs on board, and you're stuck together, and you have to talk to each other for 45 minutes. So it's
instant networking.
Yeah,
Got
instant networking. We've got stuff like that. We want to get people to experience the geography of the place, and really just it's a tourism recruiting tool. This festival is, and a gift to the local community who just love this kind of stuff.
Brilliant. So let's end, ladies. Let's wrap it up with what's the number one reason you want this listening audience around the world to come to Bloomington, Indiana for the Middle Coast Film Festival in the middle of July?
Well, I think like you better get on you need to come like soon, because you'll be like basically in 10 years it's probably going to be one of the
You
best
never get tickets in
festivals
10 years. Yeah.
in the
Sold
United
out.
States.
Get in now.
If I'm gunning for this marketing effort and how great it is, so you know it's kind of like before like the hot fashion trend.
You went to Middle Coast before it was cool.
Right. And you're on a legacy list for tickets.
It's like if people are listening to this, like you knew Deer Creek before it was Klipsch or whatever. Anyways, sorry, that was more of a local.
That's okay.
I think nationally, like we're already on kind of a national buzz already, and it's only year 3. So I think it's like to almost see it's at its grassroots. It's kind of like that beauty. So that's why you should come this year. And we have an outstanding city. We have an outstanding lineup, and the parties are going to be great.
There you go. Claire?
If you're a filmmaker, you'll never feel quite like a rock star than when you come here, because everyone cares so much, and you will talk to college students, you will talk to old people, you will talk to everybody, and you won't have that access. And we had people last year from Austin, Chicago, New York who said that to us. They're like, this was one of my favorite festivals, and it's on my list to go back to every year because I was a part of something and I wasn't just this like blip on the radar. Like, I felt like I was doing something important, so they feel like they're a part of it.
Jess, bring us home.
I love this area and I love this festival because it's the one place it's the one film festival that I've been to where, as Claire said, the people give a shit. No one's acting like they're too good to talk to you. No one's acting like, well, no one's name dropping. Everyone's just existing with each other, and we are going to work really, really hard to keep that, to select our filmmakers and select our invite list to make like people who give keynotes and talkbacks, to make sure that they're not talking down to our audience. We want it to have an educational component, but we don't want people to feel like it's not for them. Accessibility and inclusivity is one of our top priorities. So
Excellent.
you won't experience anything like it anywhere else.
You heard it here, the Middle Coast Film Festival in Bloomington, Indiana, middlecoastfest.com. Awesome. Chelsea Sanders, Jessica Lewandowski, and Claire McInerney, thank you for your incredible work on this. So excited to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I want to thank all of you for listening to Your Working Life, where my goal is to help you design your career destiny so it doesn't happen by default. Career and life satisfaction is possible, and it's time to embrace what you love doing so you can do more of it. My podcast show is now available on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, and Stitcher. Hey, leave a comment because I always appreciate hearing from my listeners. I'm Caroline Dowd-Higgins. Take good care.